Coach, pads going today. What are you looking for? What are you expecting?
Expecting bang bang. A lot of clatter, a lot of chatter. Guys excited. It's about time. We've been in pads since the spring. 7-on-7 is over. It's time for real football.
Do you want these guys, since it's first day pad, to go all out? Do you want them to show them out?
Full blown. Just like I said, day one. We'll hit the ground running. We'll set up drills to build it up. You'll see over there with the O-line, D-line, and then front seven, and then we'll get into team periods, and then we'll end practice with live.
Usually when you think of the first day in pads, people think of the defense being the most excited about it, but the offense seems to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Who do you think is benefiting the most from?
I think it's going to be the offense. If I had to predict today, I think the offensive line is going to get after it. Richie Incognito talked to the team last night. Pretty intense. Whatever you think he said, he said.
From your time as a player, Coach, I mean, obviously besides hitting someone, but do you have a specific favorite memory from your first time putting on pads at training camp?
Yeah, I did Oklahoma drill with Marty Schottenheimer, and that was real. And you got to go multiple times. And vets went, Bruce Smith went, Darryl Green went, some old guys, they didn't like it, but it was no fair dodging. It was very humbling.
I know you said you guys are tackling live at the end, or if you go try to, add in a safety element to that and not tackle all the way to the ground, or is it going to be
It's for life. It's life. Football.
Coach, it's been almost a week of the players, having breakfast, lunch, dinner, talking football, being in this environment. How has it progressed until now, this brotherhood that you have said?
I think we're building something really special. It's a tight unit, not just with the players, but our staff, even our scouting department. We got a lot of our college scouts here. They'll be at practice again today, but just eating together, being in their meetings, all of us getting together, understanding what we're all trying to accomplish, and hearing it from myself, and then from Telesco, and then that going down. And then I think the best part, a couple of days ago, we had Chef Guy here cook for our team, and I've never seen our team wait for a meal. But we had 91 players plus staff, give over about 150 people waiting to eat with Chef Guy and the celebrity chefs he brought down. And it was good to see everybody go in the team meeting room and just hang out and kind of bond and talk.
So every time you're down here, we have to ask for an update on the quarterback competitions. What have you seen from them? Where do you stand right now?
Status quo. Just that, status quo.
Is there anything more you want to see them do, kind of take charge of the competition?
Yeah, just that. I like to see, again, I'm going to keep saying it, just somebody just to take and say, I'm the guy, AP. And make it clear and evident, and then we'll make that decision at that point.
In this kind of a setting, how do they go about doing that? Is it execution, taking care of the ball, command of the offense? What does that come down to for you?
Right, everything. I think it's difficult when we didn't have pads on. There was a lot of things I'm sure you saw. It looked like the defense is winning, but obviously you hope that would stop now with pads on, a little bit more resistant. But it goes back to it. Number one thing is taking care of the ball, putting the team in a position to win, managing the offense, understanding the operational. You saw some situational stuff there yesterday. I think our guys are doing a good job. Both quarterbacks have really embracing it. But again, I'm just go back to it. Somebody has to just separate from the other.
Conversely, that's a pretty good defense over on the other side of the ball. What have you seen from that group so far?
Yeah, and I said that. The question was asked earlier in the week. Why not do joint practice? I said, 'cause I think we got a pretty good defense to judge it on. And I think you guys have seen that. The defense is what you expect in year three. And when you got guys like Robert Spillane, Marcus Epps, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, and all those guys playing at a high level, and more importantly, communicating at a high level. And now Patrick's out there, he's playing Russian roulette, right? He's out there, he's just throwing it out there, playing dice, and these guys are just, they're making the calls and adjustments. A very tight-knit group. You can see the energy and excitement that they have for one another when they make plays, and they expect to dominate, and they're doing such.
AP, you talk about guys being a team. Yesterday there was a couple of plays where a defensive back was talking to a receiver talking to a defensive back after a rep. As a coach, when you see them working with guys on the other side of the ball, is there any more that gets you excited than that?
No, I love it. Even when it's trash talk, you got to, at some point you got to stop it and you got to line up and play again the next snap. But I think it's good. It's that competitive spirit that we're looking for, and we know that. Look, we'll do that out here on the grass, and then, like I said, when we get on the bus and go back to the hotel, we're teammates again. We're Raiders. I think these guys are doing a really good job of just buying into what I'm asking them to do. I just want us to compete, and to me, if we can compete against each other like that and fight and sweat and go about it, and then they get blood out there on the field, we'll be a really good group and unit and team come Sundays.
Do you have a specific goal that you want to see accomplished today?
Yeah, I like us just to set the tone. I want us to be a heavy-handed team. You'll see more runs today than passes. We've done enough of that. We've seen that. We'll have another chance to throw later on. But I really like to see our running backs hit that hole full speed. I love to see our linebackers come down to second level, and then our safeties fit. I pretty much know what to expect with the O-line, D-line. It's going to be a bloodbath up front. and I'm excited to see this one.
Byron Young the last couple days has seemed to be playing with. You can almost see him last year. He was thinking too much. Not a bad attitude, just thinking. He just seemed to be playing the last couple days. Am I reading him correct?
Yeah, I think we always put so much pressure on rookies to come in day one and be that guy, right? And he got off to a slow start, either via injuries or just the process of being a rookie. And sometimes you don't know when that's going to, that light switch just clicks for him. And I think him having success with Jinx, not getting as many reps right now, and making some plays, that's just confidence. But he has to build on each and every day. I think with all of us as young players and young coaches, you have your ups and downs. If he can just keep building on like what we talked about early on, being consistent, I think he'll put himself in a good position.
Speaking of injuries, is there any update on JPJ? Is he still on the pup list?
Yeah, he's on the pup list. Hopefully get him out here. I know he's looking good, took the glasses off and kind of like getting out of cool mode and get ready back in football mode.
Coach, last time you were on the podium, you mentioned that it was a different era from the time you were a player as of now, right? And so Nate yesterday made reference to some of the things that colleagues were writing about, and he stepped down and said, hey, be aware that Bennett is not who you all talk about and stuff. So obviously they're reading, they're listening, they're tuning in. What's your advice to them, and how do you handle that in order to make sure that they're transferring in the right way?
I can't, because they got their phone more than they with me, to be honest. I just can't. I mean, I can sit there, any coach can lie about that. But you try to just, when we have our team meetings, our staff meetings, I try to do a good job of telling them, look, I get it. Just use it as fuel and fire. No different than I do. I read everything. I hear everything. You got no other choice. I mean, you grab the information by doing that stuff, right? So I appreciate everybody's opinion, but it's just that. I think that we control, and I think our players really have taken this to heart. We control everything we're going to do going forward. And that's all we're going to do each and every day is chop wood, brick by brick, and let the chips fall where they fall.
Something else Nate mentioned yesterday, he was asked about a few pass deflections he had in practice, and he said he wants to turn those into interceptions.
Yeah.
It seems like he holds himself to a high standard, but it's also something that the guys on defense have kind of embraced.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the tone that you said, or Patrick Graham, or where did that come from?
Yeah, PBUs are cool. Interceptions are great. Turn that ball over is something we want to do, and then we want to take it the other way. You saw that at the end of the season. Our defense really took a lot of pride in scoring defensive touchdowns, and that's the mindset now. And I think Nate understands that. It's a big year for Nate, right? Contract year, 4th year. We expect a lot from Nate. Nate can do a lot of things. Nate's a special player because he can cover, he's explosive, but more importantly, in the run game, you'll see that today, he's physical. And he's a big asset for our team.
I know you were just talking about Byron Young, and you were just talking about Byron Young, and also previously you talked about Trey Tucker. When you look at all those guys that came in last year, like Tyree, Mike, Trey, these are guys that were kind of went through their rookie pains last year, but now they're expected to be big pieces. What do you think of them kind of coming up, and what we're going to see from them?
Yeah, what I see is guys playing a little bit more looser, to be honest, at ease, kind of finding their role. Who am I? I heard Big Mike talk like, man, I worked on getting fast or doing yoga. You got to find out what it's like to be a pro. What worked in college doesn't work in the pro sometimes for you. So just adjusting your body, your routines. I think you see it with Bennett. He's a gentleman that started earlier in the season for us, had some rough patches, went on the bench, came back in here and there. Boom, he hit the reset button. Came back with a different mindset and said, you know what, I'm ready to compete. And he's doing such. And you see that with Trey Tucker. He changed his body. He was here this entire offseason, got bigger, stronger, faster, had a hell of a play yesterday in the 2-minute drill. It's just the confidence they're playing with. And more importantly, I think it's a credit to their teammates. Devontae's doing a really good job. Jacoby Myers, those guys around and really loving up and coaching up our young receivers. And you see that amongst our team. Obviously, we got some young guys in the tight end position, but they work together. Like this morning, you saw Brock and Mike having breakfast together. That's cool.
We've seen all three of your top tight ends line up as fullbacks, leading the run game. Are you excited to see what those guys bring to the table in terms of blocking from that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, obviously we don't have a fullback on our roster. We got a lot of tight ends, different body types there. So for everybody to have an example, that's going to be cool. Do you think Brock is going to be back there to block every play? I hope not. I hope not, but hey, I tell you what, he's willing to do it.
Right.
And to me, it's just the mindset. Whatever it takes for the team and what you need to do for the team, these guys are bought into that.
You mentioned Nate Hopkins, how special he could be. What about just the rest of the secondary? They look like they're flying around making plays and got a little swag to them.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it starts with Trayvon and Marcus Epps. I mean, they've really set the tone. They bonded from day one since Epps got here. His communication and what they do in between plays, what they do pre-practice, post-practice, that continuity, that group is really what you want, right? I'll be honest, when I first got here, 3 years ago, the DB group, that room's a little shaky. It wasn't a tight-knit group. Everybody's independent contractors. Now we don't see that. We see a group playing together, really enjoying each other's success. And when the opportunity is there for them to make a play, they're making those plays. And our safeties, I mean, all of them have made a play this, 4 practices in, either interception or some kind of play that's impacted the game. Right.
I'm sorry. Telesco signed a receiver yesterday that he had at the Chargers, but I'm told you knew him back in high school. Is that accurate? Can you talk about him, please?
Yeah, went up against him a little bit. He was a Trinity League kid. You know, I think he's from Long Beach. He went to Servite, St. John Bosco. I think at one time he wanted to be a Jackrabbit too. He might disagree with that, but very familiar with him. Watched him obviously as he was in college, and then saw a little bit of him last year. And he came and worked out, say a couple days ago. Looked good, and then we just had an opportunity. I just feel like more legs we got at wide receiver for what we're doing. That's better for our team. That way we're not putting wear and tear on some of our older guys.
That's good.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
AP.
Coach.